ECOWAS at 50, sub-regional leaders resolute to sustain unity and address challenges. Federal government moves to rehabilitate 219 Nigerian victims of human traffickers arrested by Ghanaian authorities. National Primary Healthcare Development Agency gives updates on revitalization of health centers, strengthens preparedness and response for outbreaks. Good evening and welcome to the News Desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Vivian Izadifi. We start from Ghana, where heads of states of many ECOWAS member nations are in Accra, Ghana for the launch of the ECOWAS at 50th anniversary. Kelvin Ewonaye reports that Nigeria's president and chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Government, Bola Tinubu, is represented by the Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, at the event.
Milestones like common trade tariffs, free movement of persons and goods, the ECOWAS Power Pole, ECOWAS Superhighway Project, maritime security and counter-terrorism initiatives, and many others are some of the critical achievements giving hope of a better future for the sub-regional bloc. But this event is not just about a celebration. It is one of stock-taking, especially in the face of resurgent coup and security threats. This is why leaders of the sub-region are more determined now than ever before to face head-on these challenges standing together.
Despite being a customs union, intra-community trade within ECOWAS stands at 12%. This is considerably low compared to the European Union and ASEAN countries. To resolve this, we must continue to address the infrastructure and energy deficit as well as non-tariff barriers.
We have a shared destiny as a sub-region, and that unity, however difficult, remains the best path to shared prosperity and regional stability.
There is an urgent need to implement bold, comprehensive reforms that will enhance our institutions' effectiveness, relevance, and credibility to meet the challenges of today and the future.
For the past 50 years, ECOWAS has evolved into one of the vibrant regional blocs in Africa, fostering political and democratic growth, enhancing trade liberalization and economic cooperation towards prosperity. Ordinarily, how to consolidate on these milestones ought to be the focus of the future, but that future is clouded with apprehension as the exit of 3 of its members had cast a looming shadow of uncertainty over its prospects for further growth. This event offers an opportunity to reflect on the sacrifices that have been made, challenges overcome, and the future envisaged, standing and building on the achievements of the last 50 years towards building the ECOWAS of the future and ECOWAS of the people. In Accra, Kelvin Ewonaye, NTA News.
Still from Ghana, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, says 219 Nigerians suspected to be victims of human traffickers were apprehended by Ghana's Economic and Organized Crime Office. Garbanatala reports that they were arrested along with their agents in a joint operation at Kumsak Estate, Uyirifa in Ghana.
Lured by enticing them with fake promises, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs advised them not to take such treacherous path ever. Bianca Ojukwu also says success requires patience and at all times look inward to utilize what Nigeria has to offer rather than give a negative impression about Nigeria. She observed The trafficked victims were mostly between the ages of 22 and 38.
11 of them are minors, 7 are female, and they were involved in cybercrime. The commission has gone through the painstaking routine of profiling them, knowing those who are actually victims and those who are perpetrators. It's very clear that this is an organized syndicate.
It is all about intelligence. We have put many of these organized crime groups under surveillance. We have also shared our links and then our contact numbers. So as and when anybody picks information about such activities, they drop it there, we pick it, process, and then we operate.
Never again, they all promised that they have learned the hard way, seeing how their life was hanging in a balance. Next line of action, according to the minister, is for the federal government to repatriate them and enroll them in various empowerment schemes to become self-reliant. From Ghana, Accra, I am Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
Still with Ghana, the president of Ghana, John Mahama, has announced 1,000 scholarships to students of higher institutions in West Africa to study in Ghana. This is part of Ghana's contribution to building a bond of friendship among young persons in the sub-region. Kelvin Ebunaye reports.
As host of the ECOWAS 50th anniversary launch, President John Mahama is advocating more investment by ECOWAS countries in soft diplomacy, emphasizing that a lot more can be achieved through dialogue. A reason he said Ghana appointed an envoy to the 3 Sahel nations of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso.
Whether it has been in restoring peace in Liberia and Sierra Leone, in guiding the Gambia through a difficult political transition, or preventing the electoral crisis in Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, ECOWAS has proven that African solutions through African diplomacy can and do work. We must not take this legacy lightly. It is one we must protect. It is one we must deepen and refine in the face of new and emerging challenges.
The 1,000 scholarship is expected to be spread among ECOWAS countries with the hope of raising a new generation of leaders to serve as torchbearers for the future of the sub-region. In Accra, Kelvin Ebunaye, NTA News.
To the United States, the World Economic Outlook projects a period of steady but subdued global growth, shadowed by mounting risks and deepening divergence among major economies. Global growth is projected at 2.8% for 2025, a downward revision of 0.5 percentage points from earlier forecasts, reflecting the impact of escalating trade tensions and new tariffs, particularly between the U.S. and its trading partners. Gruncherz described these tariffs as a negative supply shock, noting their role in unsettling markets and prompting a rapid overhaul of the IMF's projections. We have our correspondent in Washington, D.C., Lydia Sampson, who is standing by to bring us up to speed with happenings at the IMF meeting.
Thank you, Vivian, for having me. Indeed, like you just read in your report, the global economic outlook is a bit gloomy, right? They're not gloomy, but I think there's still hope, because it's not all about doom and all, because the IMF is projecting that though the Eurozone and China will face sluggish growth, no matter how sluggish, growth is growth. And it will be weighed down by manufacturing slowdowns and persistent policy inconsistency as it relates to what is happening with the tariffs in the United States of America. But optimism is high, because in spite of all this slowdown and sluggish growth, there are pointers to the fact that if the world can come together, and because that's why IMF is cautioning that these trade tensions must be overcome, and it can only be done by the entire world coming together to ensure that retaliatory tariffs, if possible, are brought to the barest minimum. And the also good, very good and important part of all of this is the fact that they didn't declare a global recession, meaning yes, there will be pain, yes, there will be slowed global trade, and yes, the retaliatory tariffs is bringing a lot of confusion and uncertainty in the global market. However, we are optimistic that with the back and forth from different tariff attacks and all, we believe that at the end of it, through multilateralism and maybe as the meetings are going on here, I must tell you, you see a lot of meetings going behind closed doors here today. And even this afternoon, from this point, the Minister of State, the minister proper, who led the delegation from Nigeria, he was part of the G24 meeting, but had to quickly leave for another closed door meeting. And so I believe at the end of this IMF Fringe meeting, a lot of positive outcomes will come, suggestions on how to navigate the complexities of the tariff wars and all that. But I believe that since IMF did not categorically declare a global recession, I believe there's hope.
Okay. So with this latest by IMF, is the world likely to witness a global recession?
Some of the journalists did categorically ask that question. And IMF said no. There will be pain, there will be sluggish growth, there's a lot of challenges, complexity, and slowed down production because all over the world, people don't know what to expect next, especially with the high tariffs and the trade war between America and China, who are both global players. So, but they believe in the midst of all this, they did not categorically declare a recession. But they really think that businesses globally must look inward. If people can't do much looking inward domestically and stop over-reliance on exportation and so many other things that is bringing about this global war, they believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel, but they did say categorically that growth, global trading and all other things will be slowing down. And that is why IMF I downgraded a lot of its projections earlier. Projections that were higher and more positive have been downgraded because of these issues of tariff war and retaliatory tariff wars.
Thank you very much, Lydia Sampson. We'll keep tab as events unfold at the IMF meeting.
Thank you, Lydia.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports after the break. Stay with us.
Baffy Furniture Easter Sales is on. Enjoy unbeatable furniture deals with up to 50% off on our luxurious Turkish sofas starting from just 2.8 million naira. Get a smart bed for only 7 million naira plus 25% off our luxury collections. That's not all. Enjoy free delivery and installation in Abuja, Lagos, Enugu, and Kano. Visit any of our showrooms or shop online to take advantage of these incredible offers.
Welcome back. 2 million Nigerians, mostly women and youth, are the intended target of a mass empowerment scheme being worked out in a collaboration between Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu's Renewed Hope Initiative and Leadership Newspapers. Chairman of the newspapers, Zainab Nda Isaiah, led her management team to the office of the First Lady where the proposed partnership was sealed. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
Leading a 5-man delegation to the office of Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, the chairman of Leadership Newspapers, Zainab Nda Isaiah, says her organization has taken due note of the activities of the First Lady's pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative, and is impressed with the impact of its interventions. The organization hopes to expand the scope of these interventions with a proposed collaboration that will ultimately put economic power in the hands of about 2 million Nigerians.
Important role of more or less taking care of the less privileged in the nation, those places where people, many times they say many things but really don't make an impact. I see your impact. So I thought it pertinent to just lead a team here to say we support you, we see you, and we appreciate what you're doing for our nation.
The idea is to train in 5 designated areas. It includes tie and dye, fishery, leather works, an additional 2 other initiatives designed to meet the needs of different sectors of the economy. The idea, therefore, is that once you're able to train about 1,000 persons, 1,000 persons will train additional 4 persons each.
With its potential to further scale up economic empowerment among Nigerians, the proposed collaboration ties in with the vision of RHI, and the First Lady expressed willingness to partner with the newspapers.
Yours is, a credible organization. I believe that with all that you are doing, you just want to do good and partner with that. So wherever state you want to work in, you let us know, how many numbers you want to empower, and then once we have the number, then we can always, get going.
This is the first time that RHI is officially partnering with a media organization on its economic empowerment program. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
Nigeria is exploring the potential of entering the multi-billion-dollar animal feeds industry. The government aims to accomplish this with the support of the African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources. Musa Babaliu has details. The African Continental Free Trade Area Coordination Office in Nigeria, in its quest to deepen the implementation and unlock the full potential of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA in Nigeria has endorsed the launch of the first ever AFCFTA hackathon in Nigeria with 20 million naira grand prize. The senior trade expert at the Coordination Office in Nigeria, Olusegun Olutayo, in a statement emphasized Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) that the initiative is supported by NITDA, Charity Code, Amazon Web Services, and other multinationals. He says the high-impact project aligns with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu, will focus on unpacking the opportunities presented by the newly adopted AFCFTA Digital Trade Protocol and strengthening Nigerians' vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem. He further discloses that the event will take place from May 1st to 3, 2025 in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial and tech innovation hub. Further disclosure by Olutayo revealed that the WILL initiative built on the success of the AFCFTA Digital Trade Protocol workshops held in Lagos and Abuja in 2024, while the Secretary General of the AFCFTA Secretary, Wamkele Min, is expected to attend the SOT Conference 2025 as a special guest. Expected outcomes of the AFCFTA hackathon include development of innovative digital trade solutions, promotion of regulatory harmonization across AFCFTA member states, and others. The United Nations has convened a background briefing for the international media, which included the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, with COP30 President-designate Andrew Kodolago and Special Advisor to the UN Secretary General on the upcoming meeting of 6 leaders and the Conference of Parties in Belém, Brazil. Charles Alpha reports.
The virtual press conference was convened ahead of the representative group of heads of state and government, which comes up tomorrow to discuss how to strengthen global efforts to tackle the climate crisis and accelerate a just energy transition. with the EU poised to be part of the meeting. Discussions were on the nationally determined contributions, NDCs, and the need for countries to step up their commitment ahead of COP30, with September as timeline for submission.
I believe that for us to reach 1.3 trillion, we have to really rethink many of the bases on which we have been discussing finance under the UNFCCC and the Paris Accord. But all that is to be seen in the preparation of COP30 and for you all to come to Berlin.
Issues raised bordered on the escalating climate event, the withdrawal of the US from the Paris Accord, and the potential of the next conference of parties, COP30, providing a different perspective from the last two COPs. Others were on redoubling efforts on renewable energy financing as well as transparency in negotiations. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Nigeria is making significant progress in its primary healthcare revitalization project, building a healthcare system that citizens can trust, and integrating health security into PHC services, as well as strengthening preparedness and response to outbreaks. Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aino, was speaking at the first quarter of NPHCDA press conference on national progress made in PHC services and an engagement to mark 2025 African Vaccination Week. For key players in the national immunization program, there are a series of investments in revitalization of primary health care with focus on strengthening community-level health systems to disease control and meeting health security targets.
Part of his renewed hope agenda has prioritized the primary healthcare system, PHC revitalization. And our goal here is really to have at least one fully functional primary health center per ward. Between June of 2024 and today, we have over 901 PHCs that have been newly revitalized, and an additional 2,701 PHCs as of today that we are aware of are in the process of being revitalized. Contracts have been awarded.
The theme for the African Vaccination Week of 2025 is important. It's called Immunization for All is Humanly Possible. We should take the immense opportunities that are in front of us. We have to strengthen our partnership.
Vaccines are proof that less disease and more life are possible when our mind is to it. All the challenges are starkly reminding all of us of the need for collaborating and working together more than ever.
African Vaccination Week is celebrated in April annually as part of World Immunization Week. Nigerian Army's first female Director of Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anele, has officially assumed office with the resolve to positively project Nigerian Army's image and national security. Lieutenant Colonel Anele, a member of Direct Course 15, was a public relations officer in the office of the Chief of Army Staff. Until her recent appointment, she served at the Defense Headquarters Department of Civil Military Relations.
As I begin this journey, I pledge to lead the Directorate with transparency, professionalism, respect, and proactiveness. We will continue to tell the Nigerian Army story, not just through words, but through actions that reflect honor, sacrifice, responsibility, and service to the nation.
It has indeed been a journey of transformation, of redefining Army public relations, not just as a support service, but as a strategic arm in contemporary warfare.
The former Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, has been redeployed to the Nigerian Army Future Heritage Center. And that's the news deck at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Vivian Izadifi.